Okay.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, we have got a great couple of hours that we're going to be sharing together. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for you to turn on your cameras so we can see your beautiful faces. Today, we are going to be talking about...
Sorry. I clicked the wrong button. Excuse me.
I love it. You know what? No, it's so perfect. I love mistakes. I do. I just love them. I think we learn from them. I think we embrace them, and it shows our humanness, and I love them. So right now, I would like you guys to put in the chat from a scale of 1 to 10, how you are feeling. If you are a 1, it's really hard to get out of bed. It's really hard to even be here. A 10, you're fantastic. You're just so full of love and joy. You just are bursting at the seams. So in the chat, I would like you to put a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you feeling? Where are your emotions right this minute? I would like to, and I want you to be honest. Honest. We'll be doing this. We'll be doing this again. We'll do a check-in later, but I want you to just be honest. If you are feeling a 3 or 4, I want you to put in the chat, and I'd like everybody to put how they are feeling right now today on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being that it's not a great day, 10 being that it's the most fabulous day ever. And I want you to be absolutely 100% honest. So, and no judgment. There's no judgment here. Thank you. I see the different numbers. I see 3 and 2 and 10 and 999 and 8 and 7. They're all over the board. It's really, really great. Okay, I want you to keep doing that while Cornelia cues up the video that Dr. Clint has just sent in. And Cornelia, just go ahead and play that whenever you are. And yeah, thank you. 8, grateful. I'm so glad that you put a word next to it. Pamela. It's so great. Yes, the word definitely goes along with the number. And we are going to do that again. But it's so great to see Ariana and Deborah and Judy Lamar and Katie. Hello, Katie. And Andrea for Humanity is here, and Anne Renee and Bridget. Hello, Sue. It's so good to see you. And okay. Casey is here. Casey Big Heart. Go ahead.
I'm ready to play. We just got a message a couple of minutes ago from Dr. Clint, right, from Hungary. So let me just make that a little bit bigger here and then get to play it.
Oh my God. All right, Dr. �ฤnti Rogers here in Hungary at the 𝗤𝗚𝗓 Festival. So excited to launch the Hungarian book. It's the first time I'm seeing it that Marta brought it. One of the amazing, helpful, incredible proofreaders along with Dorothea, Ildiko, and Balázs. Hello. Balázs is one of the organizers of this 𝗤𝗚𝗓 Festival, and it's so fun to launch the book here because this is where Dr. Naram took us. Me and Giovanni, Sandhya, Krishna, Anne, 6 years ago. And we had no idea. 6 years later, we'd be standing here.
I did.
You do.
He do.
All right. So first of all, I want Marta to say, I was at the ticket booth bringing her and her husband through, and she said something so powerful. The person was so curious. What is this book? And what did you say, Marta?
I said that this can save the world.
Yeah, she said this.
The techniques which this book contains can save the world, save the humanity.
Yeah, and the person was so curious. She's like, what is this book? She needed to keep it. And so we gave her a pamphlet, but it was so powerful. Marta saying, this is a book that can save the world. The techniques in here can change so many lives. So powerful. And how was the process of translating and helping proofread for you, Marta?
Yeah, it was, I read it at least 5 times.
Yeah.
And I went through, as I wrote it also here, I went through the same process from skeptic to the believer.
Yeah. She went in 5 readings, she went through the same process. Now, she's telling me parts of the book I forgot. It's so fun. She just knows all the quotes and so many parts. Now at the festival, just because we want to be ready for the next launches, we have the other books here. We have Russian here, we have Turkish, Japanese. Giovanni and I are going to Turkey and Japan in September. Hopefully you can join us. We have the German book. Hopefully we're launching in November. And then Turkish.
Once again, the Hungarian.
Hungary, yes.
Yes.
And anything you want to share about the book or this festival or something?
I would like to latch on to what Marta said. She said that this book can change can save the world. I also believe that transformation, festivals like this, community, and this experience can also save and change the world.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it's just a meeting of those two worlds.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. Balazs, he's a powerful interviewer, and we did a radio show, same place where Dr. Ram did, with the same technician, and that was a magical experience. Giovanni, anything you want to say about?
Yes. First of all, that we have also our book in Italian, but it's been very wet, so I cannot show physically. But he's in the tent now. But as Balazs says, that he's one of the organizers, so that this is a transformation festival here in Ozora. And this book also gives powerful tools and secrets, how you can transform yourself, how you can remove your past bad experience and create a new future for yourself and so for the world. So this is very good. Thank you.
So beautiful. Laria, anything you want to share?
Oh, this is amazing, this opportunity to be here. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to share these ancient secrets with all of you. And I love you so much.
Joey?
Yeah, read the book. The book's really fun to read, really awesome to give away. It's like you don't need to believe anything or whatever, but it's got just great principles for everyone. I've given away lots of them, and I love like the principle 𝗬𝗙𝗙𝗧𝗦, treating the unexpected guest as God. And maybe this book will be an unexpected guest for you. It could be another thing too, it could be a stubbed toe or anything. But yeah, so many beautiful principles in this book, and cool community connected to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because Joey can speak Russian, can you read the opening quote in Russian? This is fun, and then I want you to hear it in Hungarian too. So this is in Russian.
This is another, it's like I said, 𝗬𝗙𝗙𝗧𝗦, treating the unexpected guest as God, is a principle that I took out of the book and I use very frequently. This is another one. I'll read it in Russian and translate it in English after.
Yeah.
Okay. Я пришел для того, чтобы учить тебя. Я не пришел для того, чтобы учить тебя. Я пришел любить тебя, любовь научить тебя.
Beautiful. Okay, now in Hungarian. Marta, if you can read this.
Nem azért jöttem, hogy tanítsalak, azért jöttem, hogy szeresselek. A szeretet fog tanítani téged.
Yeah, in English, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. So now we'll just say, I love you and I'm with you. You guys ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. We love you and I'm with you. In Hungarian, how I say, I love you and I'm with you.
Szeretlek és veled vagyok.
Wow, what he said. All right, love you with you. Have a beautiful Sunday call. Big thank you to Jayna, Carol, Cornelia, everyone, Monica. Thank you so much for helping, and looking forward to see you on the upcoming Sunday calls. I love you and I'm with you. Namaste from Hungary.
Namaste.
Amazing. Okay, I would like everybody to unmute themselves and let's give them a big blast of love and say, I love you and I'm with you back to them. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I am with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I am with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
And I love you and I'm with you.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Did you see what Bridget has done? She's so remarkable. She's not only capturing our words and kind of transcribing, she even put it in Hungarian and Russian. She's amazing. Yay, Bridget. Thank you so much for what you do.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Bridget. I love it. Pamela, I turned your camera off because it was on Facebook Live, but would you turn your camera back on? Anyway, it is so fun to be able to see how the book is spreading, and I'm just elated. I mean, I'm just remembering the excitement of when I got my book. You know, it was in June of 2020, and I was so excited to get it, and I was so excited to read it. I read it in 3 days. It was amazing. We are so excited to be able to have some wonderful people on our call today. Pamela Curlee is a golden angel, and she is going to speak with us. We're going to talk to her about her story. But first of all, I wanted to share with you guys something that happened to me yesterday. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys have been feeling this week. In my job, I work with a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people every day. I work with a lot of people through email every single day. It's just what I do. I connect with many people during the day. And I have found that there's been an underlining tone of kind of a little bit of agitation, irritation, fear. You know, it's just been interesting to be able to see this, you know, coming up in some of the people. Yesterday, I was doing some research, and I was calling a couple of companies. This is on my personal time. And I had a fear that I gave too much information to the wrong person. And I was afraid that my bank accounts were being compromised. So I quickly did all of the things that I needed to do. I called the banks, I changed my passwords, I, you know, let the bank know, I did all of those things. But the fear that ran through my body was just really, really high. And no matter what I knew in my rational mind that I was doing the right thing. And, you know, I took all the appropriate precautions, and it took about an hour and a half. And then after I sat there and contemplated, and I realized that I had done everything I needed to do, I sat there and did the marma. So I'd like you guys to do the marma with me. So this is the forgive and forget marma. So we just use our thumb as a support, and then we press 6 times. And I'm going to ask a favor. During the whole entire call, I'd like you guys to press that forgive and forget marma. And I would also like you guys to press the what do you want marma when it's appropriate for you. And let me remind you that in the book, 𝗬𝗢𝗡𝗧 was in a coma, and she was not able to say what she wanted. But Dr. Naram instructed Dr. Giovanni to have the mother press the finger of her daughter and tell her wonderful words, loving, kind words to her daughter, because this goes into the subconscious mind. And so she did. And when 𝗬𝗢𝗡𝗧 came out of the coma, she heard all of those words that her mother had said. Now, there are times where I am fearful or I have negative things running through my mind, and I press the marma, and usually it's when I'm laying down to go to sleep. I don't know why that is, but I'll press the marma and I'll tell myself really loving and wonderful things to myself. And so during the call, I want you guys to do that. I would like to drop from our head to our hearts, and I would like to share, if I can. Let me see if I can get this. I'm going to share a video that Gary Malkin has done with Bob Proctor. And while you guys are listening to it, and you're going, you're closing your eyes and you're going into it, I would like you to press the marma and say good things. And for some reason, it's not letting me share, but, oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So I'd like you to turn your cameras on if you can. And if Cornelia, I don't know if Cornelia is still here, but if she can spotlight. Oh, actually she can't because I'm sharing the video. So go ahead and put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath in, and let's drop from our head to our hearts.
I don't know if it's just me, but I don't hear sound.
You don't hear it. I'm glad you told me. Okay, let me see. Do you hear it now?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm going to ask you to listen really carefully to something I've learned over many years. You seem to focus on a specific problem within you. You seem to treat it as a weakness. I'm going to ask you to release these weaknesses that you seem to focus on periodically. They're not important, and they're not real. They are false. They're the expression of false concepts that have been placed in your mind. And as you release them, you can feel yourself replacing those perceived weaknesses with a greater power because you recognize that they are false. This is a much more aware universe, and it calls for the talent and ability that you've obviously demonstrated in so many areas. And by releasing these false concepts that damage the image that you have of yourself, you're healed. There are no scars because they were all just illusions anyway. And you've let them go. You don't give them power. You give all the power to the talent and the consciousness that you possess. The image that is filling your mind is one of genuine power, of beauty and of love. And the second you let those false weaknesses go, you felt illuminated. A beautiful power filled every molecule of your consciousness. And this new power is reflected now in everything you do. It's reflected in your smile, in your handshake, in your caring and touching of others. You leave everyone with the impression of greater good. The next time you see someone who seems to be paying attention to what you know is a false concept, share with them how you released the illusions that had held you back, that had damaged your self-esteem. Let them know when you released that there were no scars, because they were just illusions. And the beauty that is expressed through you touches everyone and everything you do. Just see the beauty. That's all there is. Everything else is just an illusion.
Judy is doing the other marma. Very good. 6 times. Very good. When I woke up this morning, I turned on some inspirational things, and they said that when he goes into fear, that he goes into gratitude, and gratitude transforms that fear. And I just was in amazement of how the principles of this book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, how universal it is spread. And I was so grateful to it today. So I am grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for this, my sister who sent me a beautiful message, and she didn't even know that I needed it this morning. And I'm grateful for the beautiful friend in our community that sent me a wonderful message. She didn't know that I was so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful for Pamela. And Pamela is an amazing lady. I had the great honor of being able to spend a few days with her and to see her every single day. And in the book, Dr. Clint quotes Albert Einstein. Says, there are 2 ways to live your life. One as if nothing is a miracle, and the other is if everything is a miracle. And if anything, Pamela lives life as if everything is a miracle. And to her, it is. I am just going to spotlight her as we're getting ready for everybody. She's a beautiful lady. And she is, you know, Dr. Naram says, my master says, and Clint said to him, what do you mean by your master says? You have a lot of different masters. He goes, yes. He says, Clint, even you can be my master. He says, if you teach me something, if I learn something from you, then you are my master. And I have to say, Pamela is definitely my master. She reminds me often of how to be able to be in the world. And I'm so grateful that she is in my life. Pamela is amazing because she does so many things. She maximizes every minute of the day with joy, and she touches so many people's lives. So maybe Pamela, what do you think? Should I have you tell how you found Ancient Secrets?
Well, it would be a lovely thing to share. Yeah. In 2020, the Aditya Deva Baba that came in the middle of a very busy work schedule, trying to get things set up to match 2020 and how our business was run, was kind of a full-time job. And then one day God just blessed me and said, we'll just let your computer take a break and stop working today, which was the sweetest gift that could have ever happened to me. I was standing in the middle of my living room going, wow, I have time. Wow. What do people do with time? I was a little befuddled. I wasn't used to that. And so I remember I just stood here and I went, wow, what do people do with time? And all of a sudden it dawned on me, oh, they read books. Yes, of course they read books. And my neighbor downstairs had given me Ancient Secrets probably a month before, and it was sitting there wanting to be read, but I just hadn't made it a priority yet, but now it was. So I sat down and read it cover to cover. I didn't stop one minute. I just read and read and read and read and read. I highlighted it. I wrote notes. I just absorbed it. I loved it. I said, wow, this is fantastic. So that's how I got connected with the book.
Well, you know, I I believe that Pamela jumped in with both feet. She signed up for the 100-day training program. She did the 28-day detox, and she had some incredible experience with that. And her friend Rebecca, on the last call that Dr. Clint had, they had a pulse clinic in Colorado where Pamela is, and Rebecca said, and I have to just mirror this, because Rebecca said, Pamela is a person of joy. She spreads joy and happiness everywhere she goes. And after she connected with Ancient Secrets and went on the 28-day detox, and she says, I didn't think it was possible, but she's even more joyful than what she was before. And I have to agree, Pamela lives joy every single day. And, you know, the time that I got to spend with her, I was laughing the whole entire time. We just laughed and found joy in so much. So Pamela, tell me about what happened after you went on the 28-day detox.
Well, then with that and the 100-day course, and following the principles. Now, just as a little background, actually, I have done transcendental meditation for about 48 years. And Maharishi had always connected us with Ayurveda. So I have known of Ayurveda for a very long time. And I have an Ayurvedic doctor here in Boulder I was working with, but the thing that really made the big leap for me was all of the wonderful connections with Ancient Secrets people, with the mung bean soup. Oh my gosh, that is so good. And the 28 days, et cetera, and the herbs from Dr. Ronick. And it was just one piece of a gift after the other. And with all of this knowledge and wisdom, my hypertension is gone. I had Hashimoto's and thyroid problems. Those are resolved. I lost probably 40 pounds in total. And that wasn't the goal. I just looked down one day and said, I disappeared. But I mean, it was a very good thing. So I don't know, and the mung bean soup, I just love so much because it also helped me get rid of any addictive things I had, like coffee and chocolate. I would even drive by Starbucks and not even give it a second notice, and I would not even need chocolate. I went, this is the strangest thing I've ever experienced, but joyfully so.
It is so true. Pamela is, if anybody that I know is as close to Dr. Naram, I believe it would be Pamela. And the reason why is because she sees so many people on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis. And she does it in the form of healing and touching who they are. And she also, does it with joy. And when people meet her, they know, they feel the love that she emulates every single day. And I love her company. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what you do, Pamela?
Sure. We work with children with developmental issues, mostly mentally, physically, or emotionally, children and adults. I'm sorry, my whole focus is on children as of late because we work with so many of them, but the technique itself works with anybody who has a nervous system, because we work with and through the laws of nature. So I know Dr. Naram would have loved this information. If we could have only shared it with him, he would have just been ecstatic. Because it goes down to the most fundamental level of the body, mind, and spirit, which is the carrying of knowledge and information through the nervous system and firing of the little axons and information. So we work with children, for example, with cerebral palsy and teach them how to walk. Children with autism, teach them self-regulation and how to talk and communicate. We work with trauma. We worked with people in Sandy Hook with tremendous success because our technique with trauma is not going through the thoughts, because those are very difficult to change. It's going through the body that carries the thoughts, and transforming the body, which allows for the mind and the thoughts to have relief. So that's what I get to do on a daily basis.
I think it's to catch, move, and inspire people on a day-to-day basis. And the parents that are of the children with autism or with polio or with, survivor of drowning, and they're trying to live life again. They are so deeply, deeply grateful for Pamela and for the work that Dr. Masgutova has done. I had the honor of being able to interview Pamela as she's a golden angel. And she shared with me what she did. And she offered to me, I worked with her did a session with her, and it was just over Zoom. And she shared the most beautiful story. And she took me through a process that was very simple and profound. And the challenge that I was working with at that moment in time released like that. I was astounded. And so when I attended one of her trainings in Colorado, I was astounded. Since I have come back from Colorado, I have not been the same. The push, the fear, the drive that I had been experiencing for the last 2 years was gone. And I have the opportunity to be able to stay in more of a joy. And one of my coworkers said, Jayna's the most easygoing person ever. And somebody yesterday said, Jayna's like Mary Poppins. She just like, your policy's doing this. Oh yeah, we can fix that. So anyway, and I know that this because of the work that Pamela does. She's amazing. So we're so grateful for her being on the Golden Angel Council and for the gifts and the wisdom that she brings. She's very, very busy, and we're very lucky when we get to have her like today. It was kind of a miracle. And she sees miracles every single day. We were talking about marma points the other day, and she says, yeah, I already knew about some of the marmas, and we did some of the marmas. What were some of the marmas that you were already doing before you found Ancient Secrets?
Yeah, one of them that we use in our work as well, we use this for epilepsy, is right here. And we just push on it, but I like the repetition of 6 pushes instead, but it's a very important neurological point, and we had been using that for quite some time. And and then also this procedure here we had been using as well. So to find the similarities, that knowledge is universal and that wisdom is everywhere, it was very exciting, very exciting.
That's so great. Pamela, is there anything else you want to share with us?
Well, I would be happy to share a couple things that people could do for stress management if everybody would be interested.
Yes. There we go.
Okay, great. So I'd just like to give you a couple gifts to use for yourself, and you can share them with others as well. One of them is called Embrace Squeeze. And what Embrace Squeeze does, and you can just do this, as I'm explaining it. So just put one hand on the other arm, and as you notice, my fingers are spread apart. It's very important that they're spread apart, because if they're close like this, it will feel like a grab. And if you do this with your fingers together, the nature and the nature of the body will be to pull away from that, because that will feel like danger. So what we do instead is that we have our fingers spread slightly apart so that it is perceived as love. And that's all we're doing, is we're sharing love here. So my thumb is underneath and my fingers are here. And if you all want to do this, and now what I'd like for you to do is just start to embrace and squeeze, and you can squeeze very firmly. if you want to understand how Dr. Masgutova thinks, she will explain that this pressure is anywhere from 360 to 800 grams per centimeter square, but you don't need to worry about that. It's just a very firm, deep pressure. Now you see, I'm holding this for quite some time. So keep holding it. Now I'm going to give you the real gift here. So it should be very firm and very tight, and you hold it for some time. Now, if you would like to even just close your eyes as you release this, I'm going to count to 7 and take those 7 seconds to slowly release the pressure of your hand. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, slowly release, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now leave your hand there. There's no rush to go away because you've just created a space of love. I call it a space of sacred space. It's just presence. And then you can take your hand away. Now move up the arm a hand width here, and then we'll do it again. So just slowly begin the embrace and make it very firm, and then more firm, and even more firm, because the body loves depth. Depth creates safety. And the brain is interpreting this in a way that it is allowing the experience of pleasure. So now, having held that for about 7 seconds, we're going to release again. Close your eyes, and I'll just count, and slowly relax your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now just stay there. Okay, I don't know about you, but my whole body just relaxed. So this is a technique that is wonderful to do for yourself. Anytime you feel under stress or pressure, you can just go ahead and do it here on your forearm on both sides. And what it does is it just relaxes the whole body. And as I say, share this with anybody. I'd love to get this to the orphanage in India so that the children there will know how to create peace and harmony. And Jayna, I don't want to take too much time. I could show one other thing, but what have we got?
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect. Last night when I was going through my process, I did that to myself, and I just calmed right down.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that and the what do I want?
Which is a pressure, by the way.
It's a what?
Pressure, by the way. So anytime that we use pressure creates harmony in the brain. It's how the nervous system works. I
love that you're able, through the work that you do, be able to explain how the marmaas that we work in our body. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela, it's so wonderful that you're here. Thank you. It just is so full of laughter. I love it. You guys, let's give her a blast of love. I'm removing spotlight. So let's rub our hands together and just give Pamela a blast of love. I'm so grateful to her. She keeps this energy about her that's amazing. She has some very specific spiritual practices that is able to keep her vibration high. She is definitely my master. I'm so grateful for her. Thank you. Carol and Luke, I would like you guys to share what's happening with the Ancient Secrets community. So whichever one goes first.
Oh, I'll just jump right in there. How's that? That was awesome. I loved getting to know Pamela a little bit more and find out more what she's doing and what she's up to. That was wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to spotlight myself. So, so much going on. Some months ago, Dr. Clint had asked that to be kind of prepared for a pretty big influx of new people into our community after our Sedona event. And sure enough, we have a nice big increase in our numbers since Sedona. A lot of people stayed over for Cryon and came into our community, and it was like just coming home. And so we've created a small program of 4 weeks to go over kind of the basics of the book, Ancient Secrets of the Master Healer. And it's, again, our core thing isn't about information. It's about personal transformation. And so the real beauty of this little short course of 4 weeks is it's going to go cover the basics of what's in the book and how to apply those in our daily life so that our lives are richer and fuller and healthier and more energetic. So we wanted to make it as flexible as possible for people in various parts of the world. So we're going to do Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. It's called Ancient Secrets 101. And then it's about a 90-minute program, 4 weeks long, and starting August the 9th. And then on Thursday, the 10th, we're going to do the same thing at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, so that we can have people who work during the day join us as well. And it will be recorded if there's times when you can't be there because you have a conflict. The sessions are recorded. So what else can I say about that? Ancient Secrets 101. Jayna, do you have the link that you can put in there? If you don't, I
already posted it.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then we also have a more in-depth session coming for the month of September. And that one is our Miracle Experiment game, Meg, if you will. And that is something that is very an active session. We're going to have daily activation calls where you can do some kind of stretching or yoga or meditation or dance movement, body movement, whatever it is. There's a whole series of different things that'll go on for that month. And it's weekly meetings, and there's so much to be gained in those. Both sessions, the real value is in you get what you get out of it, what you put into it. And it's a wonderful opportunity to make connections. And we've invited our golden angels to be part of both of these so that you'll get to interact with them more. So we're excited about these things, and we hope you will be too. And if you have questions, you can send an email to team@myancientsecrets.com. I'm sure somebody can poke that in there. And then there's also opportunities always to volunteer. There's opportunities to have to host or attend pulse clinics. And so all of that information is in our lovely newsletter. If you aren't getting the newsletter, we hope that you'll put in, either send us an email at team@myancientsecrets.com, and we'll add you to the email list, or you can put it in the chat here to Jayna or myself, and we'll make sure to get you added to our list. And I believe that's it for announcements for today, Jayna.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carol. Luke, you had something you wanted to share.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Good morning. Well, it's good morning here. I wanted to talk about our beautiful online store at the ancientsecretsfoundation.org website. I'm not sure how many of you have even ever been to it, but I'm going to give a very unabashed plug to ask you all at some point, even today, to go there. We have a beautiful online store. If you've never been there, you really must go look. It's all these beautiful products like t-shirts, mugs, tote bags, so many different beautiful things, much of which has the original artwork imprinted on it by many of our community members here, like 𝗟𝗔𝗡𝗧𝗦, Judy Lamar, Mariam, and some others. Here's an example. This is a wonderful t-shirt that was designed by 𝗟𝗔𝗡𝗧𝗦. See, unstoppable. It's quite beautiful. And there are beautiful mugs. I'm about to buy a new mug, an Ancient Secrets mug. There's so many wonderful things. And there's a committee of us that have been getting together and having meetings and working with Mindy Barrett to organize it better. It really needs some organization, but still, there are about 8 pages of products there, and they're absolutely beautiful. And you'd be so happy to have an Ancient Secrets t-shirt. There are many to choose from, different designs, or a mug, or Judy Lamar's wonderful I Love Mung Bean Soup tote bag, which Dr. Clint shows off all the time. There it is, Judy. And Esther, you have one of your heart mugs with you there today that you're using? Heart mug. I'm about to buy a really fantastic mug that's Ancient Secrets in a beautiful swirly design. And oftentimes Esther has her little heart mug.
There it is.
Anyway, there we go.
Yeah, nice.
And for a lot of these products, like the mugs, there are different choices. There's color on the inside, color on the handle. So please go to Ancient Secrets. Maybe some of you, as I'm saying this, maybe somebody put it in the chat.
Just put it in the chat for you.
Yeah, thank you. ancientsecretsfoundation.org. And then you'll see a bunch of links on top. Press on the one that says shop. And then there's a drop-down box, drop-down menu, and click on the one that says Art Project. And that will take you to the first page of the store. And again, we're organizing things better so that all the t-shirts are in one place, all the mugs are in one place, and so on. But right now, they're a little bit spread out. So just scroll through all the pages and look at things. And the ones that are designed by our community members, you'll see their name there. So please go take a look, and you'll have a joyful experience. Just look at these things. And if you're so inspired to buy some products, go ahead and do that. The proceeds go to the orphanages in Nepal. So that's another wonderful thing about this. So anyway, that's my little plug about the Ancient Secrets store.
Thanks so much, Luke. I so appreciate it. I love my apron. I love my mug. They're wonderful products. They truly are. And my mung bean soup bag. Love that.
Good.
We have just thrown a lot at you today, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear from a couple of you. How are you feeling? If you would like to put in the chat from 1 to 10, how you're feeling. 1 being that you're not feeling really great. 10, is that you're feeling wonderful. And I want you to notice that if your mood has changed at all today, and if you'll put that in the chat. And then who would like to share with, it's something that we have shared with you already today. We've got 8 and 7. Just unmute and share. Katie, do you mind Judy, please.
Oh yeah. So let me just finish our plug for the shop. Of course, here's the bag. This is the bag that was given out at Sedona, but it's now in the shop. It's $21 and it's beautifully printed. And we also just put this design, I love mung bean soup, on an apron. So the aprons are really not cute. The one that Marion did is adorable. I think Esther has one. Don't you, Esther? I don't know if you're there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I do. It's in the kitchen. I could run and get it.
It's red, isn't it? Yeah, get it.
Okay.
Anyway, so the bag is $21, beautifully made, and the aprons are $31. And of course, the proceeds go to Nepal, to the kids.
I love that Judy's got so much passion. You can tell that she has put a lot of time, effort, energy, and thought and love into these products that she's created.
I was a little cray cray over the mung bean soup. Yeah, it rocked my world, as we like to say. What'd you say?
You had your own miracle with the mung bean soup.
Yes, I did. Absolutely. A lot like Pamela, a bit. Yeah. Pamela and I are running neck and neck. I've been doing TM for how many years? More than she has. Yeah, 51 years. So how about that, honey? I'm older than you are. I learned when I was 31. How old were you when you started?
I was 29.
Yeah. Very,
I learned. Yep.
Yeah. Very, very fortunate. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a wonderful practice, and we're so grateful for you ladies who do that every day. Every day. Every day they go into 20 minutes of meditation. It's dedicated twice a day. And they are dedicated, and look, they're happy, joyful, and youthful. I love it.
We're keeping it up.
So fun. So fun. Great. Well, wonderful. Okay. We're going to go ahead and play Linda, would you like to speak?
Yes. Well, it doesn't matter what I like. I'm only speaking because I gave a 7 as my mood and you asked me to.
Yes.
I don't know what I can add to you all besides my presence, which for some reason other people find my presence precious and they actually admire me, and it's beyond me why, because I am still human. I've been meditating every day since I was 19, and I recently had my 58th soul return, and all this therapy and all these programs for recovery around money and food and work and my weight and how much I love myself. And I still am not a perfect being.
Yay!
Oh, good for you. I can just be fun and lovable.
I am celebrating that because we're not going to
go ahead and celebrate. I just cringe.
We are all non-perfect, and one of the things when I called Pamela one time, I thought she was in Rome because of the time that she gave me. And she was actually giving me Rocky Mountain time instead of Rome time. And when we got on the call, she said, Pamela, what was it that you said?
I love myself anyway.
Yes.
Every time I make a mistake, I just go, and I love myself anyway. It's my automatic response.
Yeah, I wrote a good mantra.
It's a great mantra. I wrote it down. I posted it on my fridge. It's still on my fridge. And I say that. So even today, when I made the mistake of not being able to get the video up on time, and then I stopped the video abruptly, I'm a little bit out of practice. Cornelia and Carol do a beautiful job with all of the technology. And it's been a while since I've been doing it. And so I made a mistake and I love myself anyway. So Linda, you're perfect.
I'm pretty sure my mantra is not written on your fridge, unless we've done a time warp and it's 1 year in the future. And I've published all these colorful posters that say, I love myself, I embrace my humanity, even the parts that I don't like. That'd be one heck of a time warp.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. You mind saying that one more time?
I love and embrace my humanity, even the parts that I don't like. And I probably didn't say that mantra perfectly because in my experience, perfection is very hard to attain and really hard to sustain. I have it. I am human and I embrace my humanity, even the parts I don't like. There, got the exact words.
That's beautiful. Well, I definitely am going to put that on my refrigerator.
Sure, please quote me for that one.
Thank you, Linda. It's wonderful. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Yep, I only spoke because you invited me.
Thank you. Nehemiah.
I just talk because you didn't read my text. I asked you to highlight Esther with a red, beautiful apple.
Oh, thank you. Let me highlight Esther with her.
That's it.
I love that. apron. I love that design. I have a black one just like it, and I absolutely love it.
So that artwork was created by our beloved Mariam, who lives in the UK. She is an extraordinary children's book artist, and this is one example of she does. She's got an amazing technique, and we have other art pieces on the shop from her, like greeting cards and so on. So Mariam is an extraordinary artist, and you'll experience her when you go in the shop.
Thank you. When I'm hosting, it's so hard for me to read the chat. I'm just going to be honest. I know that somebody posted in the chat that they were interested in the scholarship for the 101. If you're interested in the scholarship, please just send an email to team@myancientsecrets.com, and that process will be taken care of. So I want to share a second video from Dr. Naram. So I know I'm going to make a mistake, and I forgive myself anyway. I love myself anyway. So got that.
Did you mean Dr. Naram or Dr. Clint?
Oh, Dr. Clint, sorry. See?
So here, we just completed the presentation of the book launch here, which was so much fun. And Lucy was a part of it. And also Donat was a part of it. And also Peter over here was a part of it. Peter was here when Dr. Naram presented at this building 6 years ago. And as I was walking in, he's like, I want that book. He said that one presentation, in the words of Dr. Naram, it changed my life forever. He says it changed my life forever. Afterwards, he went on, found YouTube videos, changed his diet. He started doing the marma point. Can you show the marma point? It was this one. Yeah, he started doing the let go marma point. He says, I don't know why I stopped being angry. And so let's give a big round of applause to Peter. So as I walked in, I'm like, whoa, Dr. Naram just got one presentation here at 𝗬𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗧 House at the Zora Festival. So then changed all of us. And then we have these great people from Hungary, right?
That's right.
Tell me your name.
My name is Christoph.
Christoph and Lucy and Donat came together. After the presentation, Christoph came over to me because of what happened to Lucy and Donat. He says, you don't know what you did for my best friend and my girlfriend.
God, you did that.
And almost in tears, he says, you released so much pain. I've been so worried about, I love them so much. And it was so sweet. So,
that's true.
So,
So sweet.
Happiness happens.
Yeah. So can you share what you saw happen for your girlfriend and also for your best friend?
Yeah, so these two people are very important to me. This is my girlfriend here, and Donat is my best friend who I've known since my childhood, since we were very little.
Yeah.
And both of them have been in pain. Lucy, my girlfriend, she had a very bad neck pain and back pain, and I always tried to help massage her, and it would help for a little while, but obviously not for long. And she does a lot of hard working hours, which also really adds on. So I really hope that when we go home, it'll be a lot easier for her. Yeah, and Donat, my best friend, he's
come over here, Donat, just real quick.
Yeah, he's especially had issues with his neck and his back because of this. He's had autoimmune issues, and he's been having problems with it all his life. And basically in there, what I saw was that, it's hard to describe, basically a healing ceremony, and both of them, before they could barely bend down, and after that they could touch the ground with their knuckles. So, but they said that they have zero pain. Before they said they had.
You can imagine him coming and seeing his best friend and his girlfriend in pain.
Yeah.
Donat had a pain about a 5 out of 10 in his back. Also, Lucy had about a 5 out of 10 and then a 6 out of 10 pain here. Both could barely bend, and now just for fun, here, I'll hold these books. Just for fun. Before, show us the before. What was it before? Like before? Yeah, before it was like about like this much. Yeah. Okay, and now you can go how much? Show us. Now we see it. Yeah. See yourself bending and touching the ground. Wow. Yeah.
Actually, it's the leg. My leg's the stopping.
Yeah, now the legs are stopping.
It's not my back, it's the leg.
And then as a gift, Marta is here. She's one of the powerful translators or helping with the book. So as a gift, we gave each of them one of the books in Hungarian. And so awesome. And still, how do you feel? Scale of 0 to 10 pain?
Still 0. It's so unbelievable. It was really years long of pain gone away, and it's hard to even believe what happened here. So I'm really grateful for all of you and all your help, and thank you.
Yeah.
Really, thank you.
So beautiful. And then Lucy told me a fun story. She says, you need to know how I got here. Because we're at Ozora Festival, it rained like crazy. Even Giovanni, we got rained in. Come here, Giovanni.
Yeah.
We got so much rain. So Lucy wanted. Is it okay if I share a little teeny part, the first part?
Yeah, sure.
So she says, I wanted to leave. She says, this morning I was ready to go home. She was telling everyone, I'm going home to my bed. They're both from Hungary. She has a warm bed somewhere.
It's just 2 hours away.
Only 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so she kept saying, but this great man, he says, no, there's something about healing. I'm in pain. I want to come. Please come.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I know.
He's like, I know it's gonna be good. And she says, no, I'm going home. He said, please just come. And so she says, just come. Just play on your phone, play video games, you don't have to listen. So she came, she started playing with video games. Then Joey came, handed the flyer. She's like, okay, I'll listen for 5 minutes only. And then what did you say after 15 minutes?
After 15, I was in awe. Like I was like this, I have to close my eyes. Okay, so just listen to this guy, like this crazy. And then he asked me on stage. He asked first the night on stage. It was a miracle. I cried the whole thing. I cried because I know him for like 1 year now, and I know he's in pain like all the time. So I just cried over there, like, oh, finally something is happening. And then I got on stage. I was so confused. It was a miracle that happened here. So thank you. It's amazing. Yeah, I didn't want to go, and now look at me. I have to go.
Yeah. Good, Giovanni. Anything you want to share?
Yeah. Very, very good to see this transformation. This is real life experience, and they have been transformed thanks to the powerful of Marma, and they want to go deeper because they have also some chronic problem that require some attention, and they have to also change the diet, some adjustments.
Some additional things to do. So I want to say thank you to Dr. Naram, thank you to all the masters in this lineage, thank you to Tonat and Lucy for following, letting love guide you. And then can you read the opening quote in Hungarian?
Hungarian,
yeah,
for sure.
I just want to hear this, and you can read together. Read this quote. Yes.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
Nem azért jöttem, hogy tanítsalak, azért jöttem, hogy szeresselek, a szeretet fog tanítani téged.
I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. Thank you, love you, hope you have an amazing day, and thank you, Dr. Naram, and we're
Isn't that just so infectious? I just love it. Oh my gosh. I love that story about Lucy, how she just wanted to go to her bed. And in the book on page 133, it says, Dr. Naram says, let's see, let me make sure that there are two things to consider. One is today, and the second is the future. It is important to look at what is happening today, but to not let that stop you from seeing how things can be much different and much better than the future. Do not get stuck in the reality that you perceive today. The journey of 1,000 miles begins in one single step. So take the first step, then another, and so on. And soon you will be surprised with where you end up. I'm so grateful that Lucy took that first step and stayed and didn't go to bed, and that she was able to enjoy the benefits of Marma Shakti. And I'm glad that you guys are all here too. One of the people that took a first step is Joan. Joan is from Canada, and Joan, I'd like you to share your story with us. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you. Joan met Dr. Clint at a Vibravision, what is it, a conference, a training course?
Training course.
Yeah. And what happened there, Joan?
Well, we were in class, and at one point he just stood up and said, I have a gift for everybody. I'm giving you this book. And he held up the book and he said, I wrote this book, and you're getting it all for free, and I'll sign it for you. So I thought, wow, that's so nice to give us a book that he had written, and I love books. So so after a couple of days, I finally went over and I got my book, and then he signed it, and then we just, you know, took a picture together, and we had been practicing. Everybody, there was 30 people in the class, so we would practice different exercises, and we never got to actually practice with each other, but there was just something about him that he would get up and speak and say what he thought, and I'd say stuff too, and it was just a great course that we had done together. And so on the plane on the way home, I read the book, and I didn't get it all done in one sitting like Pamela did, but normally I don't finish books. I have a ton, but they're usually reference books because my background, I'm an osteopath and athletic therapist. So my whole life I've been reading and learning how to try to help people with their injuries and problems. So I never really read a book I don't read fiction. I read only nonfiction. And so I never really sit down and read a book from cover to cover. This book I read in 3 days, and there was just something about it. It was like you couldn't put it down. I'm sure, like most of you know. And also that book felt like there was healing abilities of the book, not just the knowledge of the book and learning the knowledge, but the book itself. So I wrote Dr. Clint back and I said, wow, this is amazing. And, you know, thank you very much for introducing me to this approach. And it was funny because I was reading, you know, how he was such a skeptic, and I'm the total opposite. I wasn't skeptical at all about anything he was saying. I know it's possible. Being in the healing arts, we see miracles happening. We don't know how they happen, but we know that it's possible. So for another practitioner to say that he had these results, I was totally in. I just totally understood that it is possible. That's not to say that I know how it's possible, but like I always tell people, I said, babies are born every day. Nobody knows how they're born, but they're still being born. So we know the proof's in the pudding. So we don't know the recipe all the time, but we definitely know that it exists and this healing ability exists. And it's really great to know that Dr. Naram and Dr. Clint was able to document it and share it with the rest of us.
I love that. She had said, well, let's just talk about, you had a group, and I want to make sure that I say that correctly. You were asked to give a presentation in a group. Will you share a little bit about that with us?
Sure. About a year and a half ago, I started Vedic astrology, 𝗤𝗚𝗙𝗧𝗦. It's the Eastern version of astrology, because, you know, we have the Western astrology and we have Eastern. So I always liked astrology ever since I was little, but I never did any studying of it. I just read my sun sign, and that was fun, and it made sense. And I was a Scorpio because I was born in October, end of October, and it made sense to me. But then I got introduced to a person named 𝗤𝗙𝗙𝗧𝗦 who does Vedic astrology. So I started learning from her, and I was hooked, and I said, I need to know this stuff. And it felt like I was an astrologer in a former life or something, because I just was eating it up. Like I'd sit there for 4 days straight and just learn and learn. Anyway, so she also has this this group. We get together every Tuesday. It was called Shooting Stars. And so at one point I thought, this is really fun. So we do some astrology type stuff, explaining what's going on in the world based on the astrology, but also some personal development type of stuff. And she was reading from the book, The Secret, How to Manifest, and things like that. So I went to Dallas and I went to her conference. And then she said to me, Joan, I think you're going to present one day, because every month she would have one presenter from outside the group, like Dr. 𝗤𝗙𝗘𝗧𝗦 or Dr. Christiane Northrup, or there was a bunch of different, very interesting people speaking. And so then she said, Joan, I think you're gonna present one of these Tuesdays. And I thought, oh, that'll be fun. And so a couple of days before, I said, I better figure out what I want to decide, what I'm going to do it on. And recently, things have just been coming to me. So I just said, you know, instead of worrying about it, I'm just going to wait for the inspiration to hit me, and then I'll talk about that. And then boom, the thing that popped into my head was, I got to talk about this book. I just know that Dr. Naram is working behind the scenes to do something to help us all, you know, be guided. But it just came so easily to talk about the book. And all I did was do a little PowerPoint just to keep myself on track. And it just flowed and flowed. And you were asking me yesterday if I had any miracles. Well, the miracle was that I actually was not nervous at all, because I've done, for osteopathy, we had to do a thesis. We had to get up in front of people and explain our, you know, findings and, you know, or do our exams. We had an athletic therapy, we had practical exams, and we had to perform. And I was always very nervous because I wanted to do such a good job, and I didn't want to let anybody down, or I didn't want to fail as well. But this one, I didn't feel nervous at all. It was so fun. It was great. I said, wow, that's a fun feeling to have, not being nervous and being able to just share what you know. And like Dr. Clint said, I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to love you, and love's going to teach you. And that I think really was what I was at. I wasn't on the spot of, I have to teach these people something. All I did was share it because I loved it. And I just got introduced to it like the week and a half before. And I'm not an expert on any of it, but I just feel like I just want to share it, and then they can go read the book and get out of it what they need to get out of it. Because I think that that's what it is. That book has to get into people's hands so that people can just get out of it what they need to get out of it, because each person's going to be different. So yeah, I shared with them, and the feedback I got the week after, everybody loved the presentation. And I thought, wow, that was fun. And I never watch myself back on Zoom. I just can't stand it. And I said, look, I was going to share it with a few people. So I sent it to a couple of select people that I knew wouldn't judge me and wouldn't, you know, critique. And they would love me through it. And I said, let me just check it out for a second. So I pressed play, and I was listening to myself, and I listened to the whole thing, and I didn't critique myself once. And normally I'd be the biggest critic. And I even wrote that down when everybody was talking, that, you know, we are the biggest critic of ourselves. If we could just shut that side of us up a little bit, we'd probably have a better life, because, you know, it's always on our case, always telling us, oh, you didn't do that well. And I loved what you said, Jayna, about, you know, I made a mistake. That's okay. I love myself anyways. Let's go on, because we do learn the most from our mistakes. Because if we do it right, sometimes it's just dumb luck that we got it right. But when we do it wrong, we realize, oh, that's where I took that wrong turn. And I can correct that in the future, which is good, because we're all here to just learn and love and be loved. And that's it. So that's how it started. I got to present my little talk, and from there the miracles started happening, because everything just snowballed. I mean, I got invited to come on here and talk to you guys in this beautiful community because of that too, because I shared it with Clint, and he's like, oh, do you mind if I show it to somebody? I'm like, no, go ahead. And it just like snowballed. So I just know that even him, when he went on his first, you know, trip with Dr. Naram, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. And that's what's fun. The universe will deliver us as long as we're willing to go into the unknown and be okay with that.
It is so true. It is so true. I happen to see that Levi is on the call too. Levi, were you guys in the same course together? No? Okay.
I was in a level 1.
A level 1. Okay. Because I know that Levi is involved with Vision as well. So
there's 3 levels, so I haven't done the other one. I'm signed up for the October one, so I'm going back to Utah in October. But yeah, I was just a beginner, so I was in level 1.
Well, great. Well, when you come back, let me know and we'll connect.
Cool. Yeah.
Because Vision is in the same city that I'm in, so it was awesome. Dr. Clint and I got to meet up just for a quick minute. He had just a few minutes, and just enough for a quick hug is all.
So we finished late every night. We finished late at like 9:30 at night every night. But Clint always brought the mung bean soup to our buffet lunch. So one day I was like, I better try that stuff out. I didn't know it. I didn't read the book yet. And I just heard everybody ranting about the soup, and I went over and there was no more bowls left. So I said, oh, well, whatever. I won't have the soup. And then the next day it was like the universe said, no, you got to have some of that soup. So I found a bowl and I ate the soup, and it was delicious. So I thought that was very funny.
It is delicious. Well, one of the things that she did during her presentation was she did the, what do you want? And so I would like you guys to, I know that we've done this 100 times. I've done this probably more than 100 times, but every time, you know, because you can look at this, what do you want for the moment? What do you want for the week? What do you want for your project? What do you want for the year? What do you want for your life? I mean, there's so many different levels that you can do the what do you want. Just the quick story that I have with the what do you want is, you know, back in April of 2020, Clint had asked me to be in charge of the project for the data entry for the launching of the book. And, you know, I had a team of 25 people all over the world. I had never worked with people all over the world before. I mean, I'd worked with teams of people, but not all over the world. I hadn't met them. And so we did a series of exercises where we put things out and they were supposed to do some data entry and then bring it back to me. We'd done this a couple of times. And we, as in that process over the course of the weeks, I had joined the Miracle Experiment game a couple of times, and Prashna was on the call explaining the what do you want, Marma. And there was a couple of others that he explained too that I don't remember what they were. But anyway, the what do you want, Marma. And so I remember I was home from work one day and it was late in the evening and I was just like, I wish these people would just send me the stuff because I can't move forward until they do, you know, bring this to me. And so I said, oh, I've got the marma. I can do the marma. So I did. I pressed the marma. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do I want? I want these people to send back the materials that they are working on, the data entry. I want it to be complete so that I can move on with this project because we had a deadline. I get working. Within a half an hour later, I was receiving emails back with the people completing the data that they had done. I was amazed. I was like, oh my gosh, this works. We didn't have the book, you know, I just had a couple of Miracle Experiment games and a marma and it worked. And so it's amazing. And so Joan, I'm excited for you to take us through and to give us, you know, some of the experience that you had with the marma, or even some of the feedback that you received. So what I'm asking from the community is, even though you have played this a billion times before, I want you to play full out. And so, Joan, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. What I did is I came up with a little series of exercises to get us into it, not just go straight into it. Because what I find is that, you know, even when people do mantras or they have something in their mind, if they have a doubt, that's the biggest problem. Because we want to manifest what we want, but if we have a doubt, then that changes our whole energy field. And the universe, it's kind of like you put in your order, and then UPS goes, okay, I'm going to deliver it to you. So if we're still worried that UPS got the order, then it's like, well, then it negated the order. So because you have worry, the universe is gonna be like, okay, I'm looking for the recipient of worry. Oh, that's you. Okay, here you go. Here's have some more worry. That means that you're not going to get your whatever you asked for because you're worried that it's not getting out there. So when we put out the vibration that I want this thing, well, you have to feel the feeling of what it is to already have it. So the feeling is the key. It's not the thing that you asked for. So even if you don't know what you want, but you know the feeling of how that thing would make you feel, you can just skip the first part, go straight into the feeling. So I want to do a little exercise where we're going to feel a feeling. And also the visualization part can help you get into that feeling too. So that's what he does with the first level, the first joint. When he presses, he's looking for, what do I want? And then after is, what am I going to do with it once I have it? And then the third one is going to be, what's it going to look like, or what's it going to feel like? So in the end, the last one is going to be that feeling. So I thought we would do a little experiment here. And I had done this a couple of times now this week, and it works. I couldn't believe it. So I want to try it with you because you'll be my experimental group here. So we're going to experiment with the feeling. So if you're laying in bed, or we're just going to do it now, but you can do it in the morning before you get up, knowing what you have to do in the day. And this is like a chore that you have to do. And so if you said to yourself, okay, I need to load the dishwasher. I left all those dirty dishes from last night. And this morning when I get up, I know I need to load that dishwasher. just visualize yourself loading the dishwasher. You can load it at 2x speed, 3x speed, whatever it is, but you just boom, 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 feel like you're putting all the dishes in the dishwasher and you're like, done. I did it this morning. I said, oh, I need to load the dishwasher. And then I was busy doing something. I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'm just going to do it right now. And I went and loaded the dishwasher without even like thinking that, oh, this is a chore. It was so fast. So I laughed. And even the day before I said, oh, I need to go and do XYZ. And I did the visualization in my head. And then suddenly during the day, I was doing it without even thinking about it. So it's kind of good for those procrastinators who are like, oh, you have a list of things to do. But then, oh, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. It's kind of like this little supercharged, check off on the list of things to do. And then before you know it, it's done. So what I think we should try right now is everybody pick one chore that they have to do today, because then tomorrow you'll be able to see if it worked or not. So one chore that you need to do today could be mowing the lawn. It could be watering the plants. It could be having your car serviced. I don't know if they do that on a Sunday, but anyway, whatever it is that you want done, visualize yourself right now going through it. We're going to do like maybe 30 seconds of you finishing, completing that job and giving yourself a pat on the back because you did it. Okay, go. Okay, now come out of that. And then everybody's going to take note if they're going to get their job done today. But just we'll have fun. You'll be able to next week see if when everybody comes together, what happened. Was it easy? Was it whatever? I don't know. It's an experiment. So now we're going to practice the feeling. You're going to practice a feeling. We're going to go from two polar opposites. We're going to feel happy and we're going to feel sad. My son, when he was a little kid, he's now 19. When he was this little kid, we were sitting on the couch one day and he goes, happy. And he made this big smile on his face and he was like this. And then he went, sad. And I was so funny because he was selling it like he was an actor or something. He was selling it so good. And I thought, you know what? Let's practice this polarity of feeling what it feels to be so happy, like, wow, this is so fun. I got what I wanted, or somebody came and visited me that I loved, and whatever it is, you're at a party, this happy feeling. And then go to the opposite of sad, like so sad your dog just died, or whatever it is, like whatever it is, you just feel so bad. And I want you to go from one pole to the other pole, one pole to the other pole. And I want you to feel, you have to feel, not think about feeling, feel what it's feeling in your heart. And then we're going to come back and I want a few people maybe to say what they felt, like just a quick 2 words, or even you can put in the chat. But I want you to sense a feeling in your heart, what's going on in your heart. It could be a physical, like a physical feeling in your heart, or it could be just a sensation in your body, or whatever it is. So let's practice that right now. So everybody, happy. What's the feeling of happy? It's so happy. It's so great. So amazing. What's happening to your heart? And now, sad. Oh, it's so sad. What am I feeling in my heart? What does my heart feel like? And back, happy, happy. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. What's the heart doing? Feel it. And sad. What's that feeling? What's that feeling in your heart feel like? Feel the heart. And we're going to finish off with happy. I don't want to finish off with the sad. What's the happy? Okay, does anybody have any ideas of what it felt like? Not what you thought, but what you felt. Don't be shy.
Go ahead, Shifra.
What I noticed that when I felt happy, I felt expansive. And when I felt sad, I felt like I contracted, and then I started to feel afraid. That's what I noticed.
Good. Yeah. I always notice that too. I always notice the expansion part and the retraction part and the lowering. Anybody else got any other ideas?
I felt exactly those two opposites, but I also noticed that when I was feeling happy, my mouth smiled, and when I was feeling sad, my mouth frowned, and it was like I couldn't do it without the face doing it.
Exactly. Cool. I think that's probably why they're tied together. When we're happy, it just happens, and then even the eyes will light up or something, because people will be like, why are you so happy? And you're like, I don't know. And it's because their eyes are just showing the other person that they're happy. I mean, even the person might not even notice it. Good one. I like it. Any other things that are different that somebody might have found?
I know for me, it was a feeling. It was like a feeling of joy and freedom. And when I was in that sadness, it was a tingly, like a painful prickly feeling. Yeah.
Nice. Exactly. Yeah. Like the joy just lifted you up. It was like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting and fun and bubbly. And like, it's a physical lifting. And then that sad is like painful, like, cause it's jamming together, and it's like, oh, I don't like this feeling. You're getting squished into something, or like a scary feeling, or like somebody else had said the word worry or scared. I think it was fear. Okay.
Yes. We've got Esther.
I have to say, for me, yeah, the joy is literally joyous and full of light, and a very familiar place. But the sadness I experience as inward, and the sad I have come to embrace and love as I love the joy. For me, I don't experience the place that they both come from is a place that I embrace the most fully, so that for me in my life now, in my day, it's not like a seesaw or a better or worse. It's a different one, deepening me. And instead of experiencing it as contraction, as going deeper into recognizing, feeling. I have this bracelet on today. I was given yesterday by a friend, my friend Krista at the farmer's market. Her beautiful dog, Coca, is in his last days. And he was at the farmer's market too. She made these bracelets, and she gave me this one. She's calling it a Coca bracelet, so that I could remember and send prayers to Coca today. And I woke up and there's the bracelet, and that, so I am equally thankful for the communication and the depth of being that I, like the Grand Canyon of sorrow that it can be sometimes. So I just wanted to share that I felt if I didn't raise my hand and speak to that as well, I would be withholding, because maybe I'm not going, with the flow here. But I embrace joy tremendously, as I think most of you that know me know.
That's
but thank
amazing.
you, Joan. And it's a wonderful thing what you're, in my experience, the love and the joy you're sharing, what you're sharing with, and to be able to become more aware of the contrasts within as they're happening, and to have, because sometimes, it's breaking up that old pattern of reaction, and instead getting to the authentic levels of it. That, yeah, and I think this is so helpful. So thank you.
I just have to say, coming from the words of one of our golden angels, thank you, Esther. Such wise words. Thank you. Go ahead, Joan.
Yeah, that was amazing. Amazing share, because you know why? Because you went the opposite way, and that's perfect, because that was the other thing. Is a great segue, because we can't have joy without the sadness. You got to have inhalation with exhalation. You can't just inhale all day. You need to exhale at one point, and you need to inhale again, and you need to exhale. And when you're in the exhale, you're not going, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It's like, no, don't worry. A couple of seconds later, you're going to get the inhale again. And then at the end of the inhale, you're going to have to exhale. You're going to explode if you keep inhaling, and that's not the way the lungs work. There's an exchange of gases. Why do you think so many sad songs are #1 hits? Because people want to feel that sadness. When you listen to those songs and they make you cry, it's not a bad feeling. It's like that that feeling of longing or whatever it is, it's that other polarity that we have to experience. If you never felt warm, you wouldn't know what cold is. If you never felt dry, you wouldn't know what wet is. You have to have the go back and forth. But the thing is that where we get stuck is that if we think that, oh, inhalation or inhaling is better than exhaling, it's like, no, both are even, both are equally important. Eating and going to the bathroom, very important. You have to have both things coming in, going out. So there's always the exchange. Sunrise with the sunset. You can't have one without the other. So the joy and the sadness together, understanding that when you're in the sadness, don't just think that this is all there ever is. Just understand that we're going to be like the ping pong ball. It's going to get to go. It has the ability to go back and forth. The problem is when we block it, like Dr. Naram said, when there's a block, that's the problem. Because same thing when you block your energy or when you block your breathing, those people are like, and then they just breathe this little in and out, and it's like they're not nourishing all their cells with the oxygen. So it's like you got to get rid of the block. You got to be able to go all the way down the exhale, all the way up into the inhale, and have that nice exchange all day long.
Joan, we've got 3 people with their hands up. Do you want to hear from them?
Sure.
Okay, great. So Katie, and then Cornelia, and then Francisco.
So I also experienced it more as inner and an inward energy and an outward energy. But the main thing was how quickly we can change our state.
Bingo.
Bravo.
Bingo. That's amazing. And that's what I noticed with my son. I'm like, how did he turn it on and off? He could just turn the switch. So taking what you said, which is perfect, we have that ability to flip the switch anytime we want. If we're in a state that we don't like if you like to be in that sad state, like pathos and wallowing in that energy, that's okay, because sometimes we need to go all the way down that, remembering that dog who died and they brought you such love, and you remembering how much love they brought you and you're crying, that's okay, because that gives you some healing too. It gives you that you go through that process. So what you're saying about being able to switch back and forth, we got to know that we have the drivers, we have a hold of the steering wheel, we have the foot on the gas, the foot on the brake. Whenever we want, we decide. Not environmental or situational things don't drive us. We drive the situation by looking at it as glass half empty or glass half full. If you see the silver lining in everything, then you're going to change your reality so fast. So very, very amazing share on that one. Thank you.
Cornelia.
Yeah, that was actually what I was heading for as well, because I did a similar exercise in my dance training. So we had to kind of going from happiness to sadness, from anger to whatever else. And for me, the biggest aha moment was that we actually have a choice in the moment to choose what feeling we want to feel. Where do we want to go? And that was, for me, that changed my life. And that it was brought up now, and what Katie also was experiencing, it's actually that we do have the choice in the moment to decide, I stay in that emotion of whatever it is, anger, or I can go to somewhere else. And for me, that was life-changing.
Yeah. And also, you accepting that that's okay is the other thing that heals too. If anybody's ever watched the movie Inside Out, it's a cartoon, it's amazing. And this little character, her name is Blue, she's the sad one. And Joy, who's the red character or the pink character or whatever, she just wants to suppress the blue. She's like, no, we can't, we're Joy. And she has all these little different emotions. There's a green guy who's envy, and there's a red guy who's anger. And she just wants the Blue wants to just be sad and wants to be okay with it. And Joy won't let her do it. She will not let her be sad. And that's what screws up the girl that all these emotions are in. If you watch that movie, it's so good. So we have to express whatever the body needs to express. I'm an osteopath, and the word osteopathos means suffering, pathos, because osteo means structure. Because the structure can't express itself, there is pathos. So in my job, what I do with hands-on healing, because in osteopathy in the United States, they're doctors and they don't do as much of the hands-on if they've kind of been pushed to the allopathic medicine. But in Canada, we're not doctors, so we're just hands-on therapists. And what we do is we take the tissue, we float it where it wants to be, not where it's supposed to be, but where it likes to be right now, because it's stuck in lesion. It's stuck in a position that it's not really belonging there, and that's why there's pain. But we float it where it is in its essence, and then we allow everything to equilibrate around it, and then it will move back to where it belongs. So we help the structure express itself. So if you're feeling sad and you suppress it and you don't allow it, then you're just going to stay in it until you allow that sadness to come out. And then it's like, okay, I was able to release that because it had to be dealt with and felt and gone through. And now I can go on and feel the feeling that I do want to have. So it's important to allow the true feelings to have their chance to speak, and then they'll shut up. It's kind of like the kid going, mom, 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 and you're ignoring the kid. And it's like, mom, mom, and then you're still ignoring them. Fine. What do you want? The house is on fire. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So it's important that we listen to our emotions, because they're trying to tell us something. We don't know what it is, and we judge it maybe as not being something we want, but in the end, it's something we need to learn, or we need to know.
Francisco. Oh, you're muted. I'll unmute you. There you go.
That's right. Oh, am I okay? Okay. I was just amazed by all the good things that are happening, but I just want to remember that for me, and just quoting from Dr. Joe Dispenza, that thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. And that when we think a thought, if that thought is not triggering an elevated emotion, it's not triggering an elevated emotion, and we tend to go like in a vicious circle. We get stuck in the third energy center. And what I found for myself is that I have to breathe, meditate, and create an electromagnetic field so that I can liberate those negative thoughts and let the energy that it's spent a lot in regurgitating all those feelings of sadness, hatred, regret, etc. Just let them flow out and keep on liberating energy so that it goes from the bottom energy centers into the brain and create that electromagnetic field and get an update from the unified field and more energy, and start a process by which stem cells, as the environment is signaling the genes, get a new expression of the genes, create the new proteins that need to be created by all those genes that part of the junk DNA, so that I can have a re-expression of the DNA manifestation and have all those parts of my body and of my mind keep continuing healing more and more and more. And if I have the ability to do that every day and constantly, I'm going to be able to, I found in several instances, I'm going to be living in the now, what the future, as if the future where I see myself, as you kindly did through the visualization process, that the future is happening right now in the now. And I'm reinforcing that process of healing.
Yep, wow. For sure, because we have, I've done 3 Dr. Joes, and he keeps harping on it, the feeling, it's the feeling part. And again, like what you explained, it's that flow, it's that exchange. It's the exchange, like the toroidal field that the energy is going out, coming back in. So we have to make sure we don't block. So we can't block, even if we don't want that negative feeling, we can't block it. We can't suppress it. We got to express it so you don't suppress it. And wonder why is it there? Why did I choose this to happen to me in my life? Because maybe I have to go through something. That's okay. Being okay with it. Same thing with being okay with making mistakes. So we get that information flow, that energy flow. Somebody had written in the chat something about energy and knowledge. Energy is the carrier wave, and it's the information that's flowing. That's basically what the universe is trying to give us, is information. So
we have Jerem has got his hand up, and Pamela, I just feel like you've got something you should say. Go ahead, Jerem.
Yeah, hi. I don't think this is any accident that this conversation is happening because of what you brought in the beginning of the call, Jayna, which is the forgive and let go marma. Different names, forgive and forget, or forgive and let go. I kind of like the latter myself. But this to me, I mentioned this on a few calls before, but going through a day, I will usually bump into what I call cringe moments, sort of things that I remember that I said or did that I was not proud of and would rather change. And when I started doing this marma, what I found was that incredibly, most of the time, it would be lightning fast, that I would be able to cancel out that negative thought pattern and free up so much energy. These masters knew some stuff. And so this is where I'm so glad you brought that in, Jayna, because I think it really fits in with what Francisco and Joan and many others have said, Katie too. And I encourage people to, in fact, I love the notion that all the 3-year practitioners are guided to use the forgive and let go before each session that they do with someone, because it's clearing the energy in a really powerful way. So thank you.
Thank you, Jerem. Pamela, can you, I just feel like you have something to say.
May I just real briefly? I'm sorry, Jayna, but I felt like I'm not unfinished, because I thought Joan was going to take us through this marma after she did all of the buildup. Is that true, Joan?
Yep, that's what we're doing. Well, I was just letting people talk and share what they had, but definitely that's what we're going to do next. I just wanted to say one other thing about that forgiveness, because what you were saying about the forgiveness is very important, because what I see, and after doing the Vedic astrology too, we know Saturn is like this planet that's like, it's the taskmaster. It's like the general who says, listen, do those push-ups. You got to do this. It's not an easy planet, but it's there as, you know, the taskmaster, like I would call it like your personal trainer. Your personal trainer, you hired them because you said, what do I want? I want the beach body. I want the beach body for July. When I go to the beach, I want to have nice muscles, lose 20 pounds, whatever it is that you want. That's your wish. You hire the personal trainer, and what do? They get you in there sweating, and they pile on the weights, and they make you a great program. And then, you know, after a couple of weeks, we go to the gym and we're crying, oh, the weights are too heavy. It's like, listen, you decided this is what you wanted, right? So Saturn is like that kind of planet, which is like on you all the time. But I also see it as when we're little kids, our mom and dad, they're like that. Do your homework and do this and do that and be nice and, you know, don't be a jerk and whatever. They're on our case all the time. But we become that after a while, that our harshest critic is ourselves. We have to realize that, yes, it was there for a reason, keep us on the rails, but at a certain point, you need to let off a little bit. You need to have that inner critic understand that they can just back off. They're the personal trainer that says, you know what, I gave you your program, you know what to do, just do it. So we as people now have to be a little forgiving of ourselves. There's that word forgiving again, little forgiving of ourselves. And if we do something wrong, or you don't just start beating ourselves over the head, because it's not going to help, because it's going to bring us into that negative feeling of not being worthy or whatever it is, instead of being in the positive, like, no, this is what I want to get. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands this part about the forgiveness, and we have to mostly forgive ourselves. That's the one we have to forgive. So
I'm going to ask Pamela to speak, but I just wanted to say the reason why I wanted this conversation is how many times do we take this little finger for granted? We don't do it. We don't press the marma. We don't. And so I wanted this conversation to expand the why inside of your own body. And that's why I didn't stop it. And because I knew that we were going to transition. But Pamela, I just feel like you have something so powerful to say.
You know, I just, very simple. I had studied quite a bit with different Native American tribes and procedures and techniques. And Joan, thank you for everything you're saying. It's filled with wisdom, it's filled with knowledge, and I appreciate all of your things you're sharing. So we'll get back to that. The only thing I want to share is that this one, I believe it was Jamie Sams who wrote the medicine cards, taught that what we can feel, we can heal.
Yes, that's why it's so important to feel instead of just mentalizing the feeling. Like a lot of people say, oh yeah, I feel that. And they're like up here in their brain and they're doing all this stuff and they're trying to imagine. And it's like, no, go into the feeling. That's why it's so important. I think that's where our block is. That's why I wanted to do that little contrast exercise, because to actually viscerally feel, like, you know, you have people with what do they call it? Psychosomatic problems. So you got their brain causing the physical body, but you got also somato-emotional. You got the body creating the emotional problems. So this going back and forth between what we feel and what we're up in our brain analyzing, they're so interconnected. So let's go through our little example of the marma. So again, like you guys all know, so your first joint here, right on the pad, we're going to press it 6 times and you're going to visualize in your little window what it is that you want. So not the chore that we did before. What do you want to happen in the near future? And let's press it 6 times. Okay, and then that's good. Very good. Tap. Now, next one down. What will I do with it once I have it? And very good. Tap. Okay, now, in my opinion, the most important part here, the feeling. What is the feeling, or what would it look like and feel like once I have it? Yeah. So hopefully people were able to feel that expansive feeling of getting what they are asking for, because they know that what they're asking for is going to be something that they are going to enjoy having. And there was one thing that Dr. Naram had said. He said that the goal is to, know what you want, accomplish what you want, and then the third part, enjoy what you got. So I think that's so important, that part about enjoying what you actually have achieved, because that's the part where you're sitting. That's why we wanted the thing in the first place, is because of that feeling that attaining it gives us. So for people who we're not good at visualizing or don't really know what they want, that's okay, as long as you can feel the feeling of what that is. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you, Joan. I just want to read from the book one more time, where I'm reading from page 137, and the marma process is on page 136. But it says, then Dr. Naram paused and he added something very important. I can help remove the blocks, but you have the vision of what you want, what results you want to see in your life, your future. This is your work to be done. And so, Joan, thank you so much. When I watched her video and I saw her passion for this little marma that we do sometimes and sometimes we don't, and to be honest, I loved her passion and I wanted her to come on. And Joan, thank you. You did such a beautiful job. And thank you to the community, all of your comments and all of your insights. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to share? Would love to hear from you. I just found it very profound. Go ahead. Yes, Carol. Yes,
Yeah,
I want you to share your story too.
Oh, well, I don't know about the story, but in the same section that you're reading from Dreams into Reality, another really important part with this marma is the quality of your life depends on the quality of your questions. And that goes hand in hand with the marma. And on 135, it says, the question is, can we reprogram ourselves to have good health, good vitality, good relationships, and good financial freedom? And the answer is yes. Marma is a technology that helps us reprogram ourselves to align our lives with our truest purpose. Not only can the pain go away, but you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. And some of those questions you can ask is, if you have that little negative naysayer, ask, is this really true? Is this really true? Or have I just been programmed by my past to believe or act in certain ways? And then if so, if it's the programming and it's out of my life, look at your life purpose and restate those questions in ways that they're supportive to what you want to achieve in your purpose. So it's a great section in the book. I just love that, and think that it's, you know, one of the most powerful things that you can implement every day. It's not something I put on the shelf. And just one little miracle, because we can program our health. I saw my thyroid surgeon for my annual check this year, and I've had 7 thyroid nodules, and I've had a couple of them biopsied 3 years ago, and it's not much fun. And each time I go in, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm dreading these biopsies. And then last year, I'm like, nah, they're good. I see them, you know, either stable or declining. No worries. We'll see you in a year. And so this year when I went in, he's like, you only have 2. You went from 7 to 2. And then he said, and one of those has gotten so small and the other one's stable. Let's we'll do 1 more year, and then we're going to back off to every other year. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing. So it's that positivity of seeing the cells heal and seeing them, you know, return to their health and vibrance, and to use my voice in ways where I'm expressing myself and not swallowing and choking on my energy and my words. So I'm so grateful. Joan, this was a wonderful one. Pamela too. Wow, this has been so much fun, and I'm going to let Shifra have.
Yeah, Shifra.
Hey, yeah, that was really good. And I think what I noticed, I mean, first I found myself wishing that this woman that I was in love with would be friends again. That seemed a little obsessive, but then I was wishing that I found myself wanting, like, to be with people who enjoy me and who appreciate me. And in a lot of ways that has been coming true, because I've been making a new friend. And I think the other thing I'm doing is I have a very strong desire to bring people together, and particularly I'm distraught over what's happening in Israel and Palestine. And so we were able to bring, well, it's going to happen. This Palestinian man's going to come and meet with people in the Jewish community. And I'm just really excited, because I thought, well, if the synagogue won't do it, we'll do it, you know? And that's just, I don't know, that's the kind of thing I want to be doing, and it's actually happening. So I feel good about that. And I have a friend who is trying to get his long ago prison sentence and parole terminated, and I think it's going to happen. So it's good to feel like if you keep hanging in there and you do stuff, like that's the stuff I feel like I was put here to do on the planet. So it's this exercise that we did, but also I feel like it is coming true in my life as well.
Oh, way to go. That's so
Thanks.
great, Shifra. You know, it just reminded me of the same chapter. I believe it was the same chapter in the book where there was a war, and the ภิdaveda, and Carol, you probably remember this a little bit better than I do, but if you do, please jump in. But there was a war, and there were rules to the war. They had a time limit. They would fight during a certain time, and then everybody would pack up and go home. And the ภิdaveda lineage, they didn't have sides. They would go to the battlefield and they would treat anyone that was there. So whether they were on one side or the other, they didn't care. You were human. You were part of humanity, and we're going to treat you, and we're going to love you. And that's what it reminds me of, Shifra, is I think that you're in a beautiful position to be able to treat people. They're people. They're not one side or the other. And I know that there are some people who feel that segregation and people who really live by it. I mean, they are like diehards. You know what? Bless them. But, you know, it's bringing that cringing feeling, that prickly feeling that we just experienced. And when they come to love and they identify where the sameness is, we are human, we are humanity, we're more of that expansion, we are more of that freedom and more of that love. And so it just really depends, you know, if you notice how Dr. Clint treats or interacts with everybody, he interacts with love. Everybody is welcome, everybody belongs. And it's a beautiful feeling. And I think that that's one of the concepts that keeps bringing us back again and again and again, because we love that feeling of love. And we are love. It's part of our nature. It's part of who we are. So anyway, thank you, Shifra, for bringing that too.
Jayna, our synchronicities and the way that, you know, this ripple of love is just so amazing in our community. And I just got a little teaser from Dr. Clanty. You know, he's in Hungary, right? And you may have seen the book in Japanese that was being held up, right? And so they go in and there's a band performing, and guess where they're from? Japan. And he gives the book to the lead guitarist, who says, "Oh my gosh, I love this stuff. This is awesome." And he goes, "Well, you know, we're going to be in Tokyo." And he goes, "I'm going to play. I'm going to come play for your event in Tokyo."
Wow.
Musician in Hungary, and he's coming to play at the book launch in Japan. You just can't make this stuff up. You can't, you know, you can't transcribe it.
If one person can see those synchronicities, it's Carol. Carol always is able to connect those synchronicities and those
Not
dots.
always, but I think it's beautiful.
Anyway, forgive and forget, Marma. What do you want, Marma? Remember, they're powerful. And I would love to hear your stories, not only on that, but, you know, the Indian head squeeze is what Dr. Clint's mom always says, that Pamela brought to us, and this point too. Any of the marmas, I would love to hear your stories, and they're meaningful. It doesn't matter how large or how small they are your story, and they work. Just like mine about my data entry story. And I can tell you many stories regarding jobs and homes and travel, and just amazing. When you use these marmas, it brings consciousness. It opens up the subconscious. It goes to the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious mind, and they're powerful. I just really want to bring more emphasis on that. Anyway, we're going to go into the breakout rooms. We just have a few more minutes to do that. Let's go ahead and unmute and say, "I love you and I'm with you." Thank you so much, Joan. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, everyone, for being a part. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I am with you.
I love you and
Love you and
I
I am with you. I love you and I am with you.
Everyone.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I am with you.
Awesome. I love you and I'm with you. Enjoy your breakout rooms. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I love you and I'm with you.